So thank you so much, Donny G, for agreeing to be on my live series. This is an amazing day because your new single, Push It, dropped today as well. So I thought it'd be the perfect time for us to come together. He's very nervous, but I thought it'd be the perfect time for us to talk about your music career, your new single, everything that's going on. So before we get started, I did want you to maybe give the viewers and the people who may watch this later on YouTube a little bit about you. So if those who don't know who Donny G is, what do they need to know?
Dwayne is cucking me up in these comments. Hi, I'm Donny G, and you're watching Disney Channel. Okay, I'm Donny G. I am from west side of Michigan. I'm from the Grand Rapids in Michigan. Y'all don't probably know what that is. So I'll say I'm from like 2.5 hours from Detroit. And I just started rapping. I would say I started rapping in 2019. But I only dropped like 1 or 2 songs and they was all trash. So I'll say really at the top of this year alone was my year.
And what made you start rapping? I'd really like to get into that because I don't even know that. Like, and I've known
You
you,
don't?
so.
Okay. I let me see. I'm 22. I would say I only started trying to rap when I was like 19 or 20. Growing up, like, y'all, I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood. So growing up, I used to be in this house. When my dad had to work, we used to go somewhere else. One of them was trash. Lord, Dwayne, shut up. But I used to go to like my auntie house, and that was deep in the hood, and we used to have parties like every night at the house. Like it was parties. I was young though at that time, and I have older sisters, and everybody else was like older than me. If I was like 13, they were already like 18. But my sister at them parties used to rap. So seeing my sister rap, it made me want to rap. And then like I would say when I got around 19 or 20, she started like asking me to rap with her. She don't take rap as seriously as I do no more, but that's what got me to rap. And my sister like made me sit down and write. And she just inspired me to rap. That's literally how I started rapping. Just because my older sister, I show her all my music too.
Oh my God. Well, she must be so proud then to see how something she's done and that you were inspired by, you've kind of taken that on, eh?
Yeah, it was so weird because it was like it was supposed to be me and her together. Like she would have like little songs that she would do, but she would never release them. And it was just like, well, if I'm gonna do this, I want to do this. And she just wasn't. She rapped, but she just wasn't as serious as I was.
Do you see in the future you and her ever doing a record together? Do you think that's possible?
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Oh my
When
gosh.
if I get big, I definitely want her on my first album. Like, cause I don't want to do an album until like I have a big record label budget behind me, and then that's when I want to do an album. And she's definitely gonna be doing something on that album.
No, that's amazing. Hey, keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family.
Well, speaking of that,
Dwayne keeps saying he retired, but he
no, he hasn't. He's always saying something.
he annoying he annoying as hell.
But speaking of that, then how would you describe your sound then? Like, and we can say like even from the start to now, how it's grown. Like, what would you say if like someone's like, if I'm gonna listen to Donny G's music, what should I expect? Like, what's the sound?
Huh? I don't know. Cause when I first started, I thought like I was gonna be in the kind of like the freak category lane. Thought I was gonna be like a Juicy J type of rapper, which is why Push It kind of means a lot to me because I wouldn't say it's a return to form for me, but I would say it was a step in the direction that I thought my career was originally gonna go, or my rapping music wise was gonna go. I thought it was gonna be that, but then I I don't know where I just started like rapping different. I started experimenting with animations, which you can hear all throughout my music throughout the year. You mask on, don't want it loud. You can hear it throughout the years. I'm just trying to figure out how my animation and how I want to incorporate it in my music. You can hear me, you just hear it, and I feel like I kind of perfected it now than I did as opposed to the beginning of the year. with features like the song I did with Jim at the beginning of the year. I felt like I was still figuring it out with the growling, and then with all of that, like raising my voice up higher. I don't know. I feel like when you come to Donny G, you're gonna get freaky, but you're gonna get barred down. You're gonna get barred down. Like I feel like take one and Push It is like the type of music you're gonna get from me. It's like the one bar heavy, the other kind of freaky. And Dwayne comments is killing me. Okay. So that's what you're gonna get from Donny. You're gonna get freaky, but in a chord you're gonna get bars. But I also think just because you freaky doesn't mean you don't have bars.
No, and I
Period.
think that's a
It's
great
not
point.
what you do, it's not what you talk about, it's how you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I'm saying. Like I can go, I don't really want to get into it, but yeah, freaky and bars and freaky bars.
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
what.
let's talk about these two singles though, because you dropped Take One, you dropped Push It. And one thing I immediately noticed of both of these songs is they both have a very similar aesthetic, like very similar image. And I love consistency. I love a rollout. I love an era. So I really commend you for that. I love that.
Thank
And
you.
then on top of that, they're both these up tempo, and like you're saying, you have the freaky bars, but they're also that hot, quick bars, like that just they hit you, and you gotta listen again to be like, oh wait, what he say? Like you gotta catch it. So there's that depth
Thank you.
there, and I love up tempo. I love what you're doing with those. So what kind of is inspiring? Like, tell us about those two records.
Okay, Take One. How can I? How I don't even know how Take One came about. Honestly, I think I wrote Take One literally. I would say at the end of June. So I probably put Take One out with a week after I finished. After I got the beat and wrote it. Like I wrote it, recorded, and put it out that next week. I was just the reason why I did Take One is because I, my last record I had was Spaceships, and I didn't like the mix of Spaceships. I didn't like the way it was all. Let's talk about how Donny could draw too. Let's not talk about that. I did Spaceships, and I didn't like the mix of it. I thought I was really not happy with how that happened at all. And then, but that was in May. I know. I think I dropped Spaceships in April. I don't think I had anything in May except a little feature that I did for Jim. But June, I was supposed to drop. I wanted to drop music. So when I in May I was working to drop in June, and everything I worked for in May kind of all fell apart in June, like just due to other people I reached out to. They just couldn't come through. And then we had the riots and the Black Lives Matter movement. That was just way no spaceships landing. That was just way more important right now at that
Mm-hmm.
time. So I didn't get to drop in June, and that really annoyed me because even if I would have dropped at the end of June, I would have been happy, dropped anything, but I didn't get to. And so I had to, so then I wrote Take One. It was kind of like, I wouldn't say a comeback single because it's like, it's only been a couple months. But at the same time, that's kind of how I look at it. It was like, here I am again, reintroducing myself. And I kind of recap things in the first verse. And then the second verse, you know, I kind of like took bitches out, but that don't got nothing to do with anything.
Oh my gosh, he too much.
Yeah, so that's what happened with Take One. Um, Push It. I think I had Push It for a minute. I had Push It, I think, in May. Push It was one of the things, but I never looked at it as a single. But I was still fixing it. I was still fixing Push It Up. Like the verses that I had at the beginning, they weren't perfected. I think I really perfected both verses
Mm-hmm.
now than what I had in May. So I fixed it up after I dropped Take One. And at first, I was gonna do Push It as a surprise single. I was gonna drop it out of nowhere, like a week or so after Take One. but somebody convinced me. They was like, no, you need to make that a single, give it its own moment. And so I said,
Hmm.
okay, I'm gonna wait until August. And so I waited till August, and I'm happy I did. I'm happy that that person gave me that advice to wait till August to drop Push It, that little nasty ass song.
But congratulations, though. I'm proud of you. It's
Thank you
amazing
so
everything that you
much.
release. Like, I just love when artists that I like release music. I just feel it's inspiring on its
Thank you.
own. But I also know, having known you, like seeing how much work goes into it, see how you really really work really hard to push your pen, and it's hard. It's hard. We're living in crazy times. You have your
Woo.
own things going for you, and I know as an artist myself, like how difficult that can be. And when you have a rollout and you're trying to make sure everything's perfect, and sometimes things, can muck up the process. And when you're an artist, like nobody cares. You know what I mean? They just want the music. So they don't want to hear about how you had a long this or long that. They just want the music. So when you're going through your own thing, you really are going through it by yourself as an
Mm-hmm.
artist.
Yeah.
And so it can be difficult, but those moments where you can actually release and things can come out, it's an amazing feeling. And I see Dwayne saying, "Where's Zach's music?" We're talking about Donnie today. We ain't talking about me.
Oh my God.
He is too funny. So one thing I've also seen you do,
I
especially in the
know.
last
Why
few
is Dwayne
months.
asking where anybody? Dwayne, where's your music?
Where's
What are
your
you talking
music? Let's
about?
start there. So one thing we've all got to see you do, which has been really amazing, is do these incredible collaborations with Gem. That's one artist you've done one with. Diablo, you've done some
Oh my
collaborations
God,
with,
Diablo.
and that Gem, you know how I felt about when you released the High record. You know, I thought that was like a
Oh
stellar
yeah.
radio ready record. Like I think that record still is a record that needs to be on the radio. I think it needs to be out there. I think you guys did a phenomenal job on that record. But in
Thank you.
general, when you've done, because Gem and Diablo aren't the only ones you've done artists with, you've done collabs with a number of artists in the last few months. So could you take us through what that experience has been like and what you've enjoyed the most about those collaborations?
I would say Jim is like the closest person. So me and him, we talk personally, but somehow he's the hardest person to work with. Uh, he,
Really?
yes, he is hard to work with. Send me to hell with Diablo. Diablo. Oh, I love Diablo to death. I remember when he first sent. I think like around my birthday in December, he sent me Cult. We're gonna start there. So he sent me Cult in December, and it was just out of nowhere. He was like, "Hey, Donnie, I got this record. I want you to be on it." And we had talked like June and July earlier that year, talking about somehow we wanted to collab. It was around the time where Marcus kept doing all of those Twitter group chats. You remember? He kept adding us, and so I kept meeting new artists and just building connections with them and networking. So Marcus ain't helped me with that because I didn't meet a lot of people in them good people in them group chats. So when Diablo sent me the song, I said, "Let's go!" I was so happy about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was the first real person to reach out to me ever like that. It was just like so weird. Like he really took a chance on me. I didn't have a resume for real at all. So when he said, "Let's do this song," and he sent me the record, I think I sent him the verse back the next day. I was just so excited once he sent me the song. I just wrote to that, and then he put it out a couple weeks later. I think he dropped that January 5th for It was the first single off of his sophomore album called Malo Santo. That was what his sophomore album was called. And just to make it more iconic, I was the only feature on Malo Santo. So that that was mind blowing. I said I'm the only one he got to feature on this album. And he could have got anybody. Like he literally could have got anybody on the album. But he really betted on me. So thank Diablo. I thank Diablo for that. I cherish that song forever. I will always cherish that song. Um that then we have, the Jim and Dwayne collabs where
Mm-hmm.
the Jim, Dwayne, Donnie collabs, which we call the Dream Team collab.
Hey.
We had what we did that. Okay, look, cause
Yeah, you did Thought Box. You did
that, and then we did Savage
Savage. Yes.
and Thought Box.
Thoughtbox was really good.
Thoughtbox was Jim's idea, so he did Thoughtbox, and then he asked me and Dwayne to be on it. And so, yeah, we did actually, like Dwayne said, we did lots of songs. Like I would say, I met Dwayne and Jim in July or August. Damn.
Of last year.
Yeah, of last year, and we did many of songs, but and we did many of songs that ain't gonna see the light of day. Like Dwayne said, "Sex Machine." We have a song called "Sex Machine," child, and it ain't ever seen the light of day. But Thoughtbox was the first one we dropped. That actually we was all happy about. Well, me and Dwayne was happy about Thoughtbox. So what happened with that was Jim did Thoughtbox. He did his verse. He did the hook. He sent it. Me, Dwayne, and Jim had a group chat, and he just sent it into us. He was like, "Can y'all want to be on this?" And we was like, "I don't know, child." And then one night, Dwayne sent his verse, and I screamed so fucking loud. I was driving fucking home from work. It was late. And I screamed so fucking loud. I've probably still got the fucking text messages on my phone. It's been so long. I screamed loud as fuck when I heard that verse. Dwayne, to me, had the best verse on Thoughtbox. He just went so crazy on that. And so that's how that came about. Jim, once we finished it, Jim was like, I don't know if he didn't think he wanted to put it out. And so I took it and I put it out myself without his permission.
Oh. One way or another.
And so I just put it out without his permission. And me and Dwayne pushed that shit. So I think that was January. February, I don't know if I dropped anything in February. I can't remember, but I know this year I was trying to do a song a month, a song or a feature a month, period. I don't know what I did January, but I feel like in March, that's when me and Jim did Face Ass. And that was like our first kind of real collaboration, like a real original song that came out. Finally, like I had to push him to put that out too, because Jim is a slacker. Like he will do the songs, but then don't be wanting to release them. And I be having to push him to release tracks. Let's talk about how we waiting on Zach's vocals.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Okay, we're gonna get there because then in March was Face Ass. I think March was Face Ass. Oh no, February was Face Ass because in March, me and Dwayne did the whole remix. The whole remix. I love that song. Whoo! Dwayne killed that shit, ate that shit all the way up. The whole remix.
Yeah, yes, yeah, you're right.
Dwayne, he sang on it. He did the hook, and he did a verse.
I think Dwayne has a really, really nice voice. I really do.
He does. And he talking about something, he hates it. Tasteless. He's tasteless. Like, he shouldn't even have an opinion on music. And then after Home, that's when Spaceships came out. Didn't like that. Then High came out in, I think, May. And then June fell apart. And then Take One and now Push It.
Yeah. So you're still making it happen.
It was crazy. It's been a crazy year, but I love it. I think I'm finding my footing in this rap game.
No, and I'm so grateful to be able to see it.
Oh wait, Dwayne, the track with Tajmir, "In My Bag" remix. Oh yes. I don't know how I forgot that. That is my favorite verse this year. I feel like, damn, that was the hardest I spit this year. It was flows, it was animation, and it was double on top. Whew. Yeah. Child.
That was a fun record.
Yeah. Shout out Taj for reaching out for me to do that too, because he really didn't have to. He did not have to. And also shout out Kiki, because Kiki was on there too.
She was on it too?
Yeah. Yeah, she was cool too. She's nice to talk to. She bubbly. So yeah, shout out them. I see Taj in the comments. Hi, Taj.
So speaking of other artists, anyone I think who knows you knows that one of your biggest inspirations is Miss Nicki Minaj. and which is I think is an incredible woman to be inspired by. I mean, she's so talented, she's so successful. I mean, there's so much that you can take from how much she's done. What would you say inspires you the most about her? And is there anything she's either said or rapped that you've really taken to heart as something like, that you really appreciate and that you really took something from?
Her, the queen. Who she is a queen. What I would say about Nicki is I feel like you have to look at everything Nicki has done. You have to look for how she rap. She raps, she don't play when she rap, but then you also got to look at her business side. Like she did that Double XL magazine issue, um, that Double XL magazine interview like 10 years ago, and how she was talking about how she think female rap is a flop ass contract and all that. First they let you, then they switch. Yeah, they switch like
Mm-hmm.
um, Dwayne threw me off, but it's just that. So with everything, so you got to take everything from Nicki. You can't just try to take one aspect from her. I feel like even though my sister inspired me to rap, Nicki influenced the way I rap. You know what I mean? So she inspired me to actually like try to do faster flows, rap quicker, and in all the animation I do, because I got a verse coming up later this month with a familiar artist, and
What? Okay.
and I did like a lot of animation in there too. So inspired my work ethic. Take her work ethic. If you don't take anything else, you gotta take her work ethic. She
Mm-hmm.
works hard as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And you just gotta be about your business. So even if you know you make that good ass music, if your business ain't right, you gotta have a neck and neck. Your business gotta be on the same level as your talent. Basically, is that familiar artists in these comments? No, Dwayne, they're not here, child. Sorry. I think they smoking a hookah right now. That's what that familiar person is doing. Oh, Jay Ling, I did a yeah, Jay Ling. Who? Let's talk about fucking talent right there. That nigga is I cuss. I'm sorry. He is such a good rapper. Like he spits, and his voice is like butter on a beat. I fucking love, I fucking love Jay Ling. Me and Jay Ling, we're trying to do a couple things together too. Um, so shout out Jay Ling too, cause we gonna get something, and it's gonna be mind blowing. Period. Oh man, his verse on Move Your Hips. His verse on Oasis. I'm sorry, I'm talking about Jay Ling.
Shout out to
His
him.
verse on Kulo. Oh my god. Yeah. Shout out Jay Ling. So with Nicki, I say look at everything she done. Don't just look at her music. Don't just look at her wigs. Don't just look at her outfits. And don't just try to take that and think you can run with that. Listen to her interviews. Listen to her early come up interviews and listen to what she's saying. Cause she's smart. Like she is smart. I love when Nicki talk. So yeah, that's what I say about Nicki being my inspiration.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Are there any artists other than Nicki Minaj that really inspire you, either creatively, sonically, aesthetically?
Oh yeah. Shoot. So many. Lil Wayne, of course. Lil Wayne. Whew. Lil Wayne in his prime. Whew. Definitely Kendrick Lamar. He also inspired me. I look towards him, Nicki, Eminem, and Busta Rhymes. I don't think Busta Rhymes get talked about in this generation enough, but I definitely look at Lord. I definitely look at them when it comes to how they decided to implement their animation in their songs, because I feel like they all do it very distinctly and very differently. And I throughout this year alone has tried different each of their styles to see if I could find my style. Yes, we do love Busta Taj. So definitely Busta. But a lot of the artists I grew up listening to aren't even mainstream. Like be artists from like Detroit who
Mm.
Detroit, be artists from Chicago, like people like them is I feel like I'm a little more gritty of a rapper when I'm on the grittier songs, and that's where I get that from, the gun bars and shit like that. And because like I had to live it once, I don't want to go into that though. I'll go into that probably on in my music. And I went to a little bit high in the second half of that verse. But anyway, so I don't think I've even known too much about mainstream until like I got introduced to Nicki. I knew Wayne, of course. Everybody knew Wayne, and Wayne was Wayne. He was spitting. Jay-Z, the usual people, Biggie, Pac. But I grew up with people from Detroit, like people like Doughboys Cash Out. Like you would never know who these people are if I never said their names. But they drove like the Michigan community like that they owned Michigan because they was just so dope growing up. Has a sexy song coming. He's
Dwayne's just giving us all the tea. We're gonna ignore that one. But what I'll say is in relation to that is I feel even me as an artist, I definitely felt like when I was coming up, it was those mixtapes on DatPiff and all those underground artists who like people don't talk about that were really putting out like amazing music, and that inspired me. I remember like they would get like the countdown on DatPiff like for the release date, and that would be like a big day. Yeah, like that'd be like a big day. Like, oh, I gotta make sure I'm like available on this day because so and so's mixtape's dropping. Like those projects inspired me so much. Like the mainstream artists as well, and I've always said that. But like it was those artists that were really like underground and pushing like and putting so much work and effort and talent and money into these projects that were for the streets. Like people don't want to talk about that. They were for the streets. They weren't for like, oh, let me like do this to get a bag. Like they were doing it for the people. So
it was a passion project.
Yeah,
they were rapping. They were rapping not because they wanted, not because they even. I wouldn't say they didn't have drive because they had drive, but not. And the people in Detroit, they was hungry. They were some hungry ass spitters in Chicago.
And it's different when it's like that.
Listen to those type of songs today, like them are classics to me. Like, yeah. So
I feel the same.
To this day, those songs are like pivotal songs in my life. Like I go back to those songs by those people to relive memories. If you can join a label today, what label would you choose and why? I wouldn't. I don't think I would. I like being independent right now. I think labels would just put a strain. I wouldn't. Atlantic is automatically a no. Republic don't know how to market their artists at all. They just don't know how. Okay, Tinashe.
Let's say the ones that you would. The ones that you would.
Tinashe dumped that damn label, and now she's making the best.
She's doing amazing.
Made in a while. So I don't know. Yeah, like Republic don't know how to market their artists unless they already have a big name. Like Rich the Kid dropped the album this year, and it fell to the floor. You had a Nicki Minaj feature on it, and it just fell to the floor.
So which label, let's just say which one you would. If you were potentially going to go, just pick one that you would.
Rock Nation.
Rock Nation.
I have to be under Jay-Z. I think he'll get it. He won't. He's a rapper himself, so he won't screw you over. He definitely won't screw you over the way how they handle Megan's case. Which is just another thing. Megan's case, and a lot of these female rappers signed bad deals. And it's only because they see Nicki Minaj's looks in her music, that they didn't listen to what she was saying about the business. Not Pink Friday Records. I don't know.
Let's go to the next question. We're not gonna get into all of that. No. So we've seen you tweet about not only because I saw this recently and I was like, wait a minute, let me pull it back because I saw you tweet about 19 the EP and 19 the album, and I know personally, and I know I'm sure a lot of your supporters and followers have seen that this has been a project that's been in the works for some time, that you've been working on, that you've been perfecting. And so when I saw that there's an EP, there's an album, I was like, what is going on? So what can you tell us, at least at this point, about where you are in that process?
In the process of the album, like I said, I'm not doing the album until I have a record label budget. But I know my first album is also going to be called 19. It's going to be called 19. Well, the album. And my first EP is also going to be called 19. But so I want to do the EP now. And then when I do the album, when I'm years in the future, whenever I decide, I don't think I'm gonna do an album anytime soon. Maybe I must just stick to EPs and mixtapes. But when I do 19 an album, I just want people in the future. I want to hear my growth, like from 19 to EP, from to 19 to album. Not Adele, Lord Jesus. But like Adele, I do believe in trilogies. So yeah, so I know I'm gonna name my first album and my first EP 19. In terms of 19 the EP, which I drop it, pick it back up, drop it, pick it back up.
Mm-hmm.
It might come out sooner than later.
Ooh, T.
It might come out sooner than later. See, 19 the EP was supposed to be 19 the mixtape, and
Mm-hmm.
I was gonna have a lot of songs. But like I said, things that I've built the foundation on in May fell apart in June. So now I'm just gonna do an EP, and it's probably gonna mostly be solo. Like I'm probably not even gonna have. I'll probably have one feature, if anything.
But can I ask you about that, just to add then to with what you said about like you pick it on, like you take it on, then you kind of like do other things. How do you feel about that? Like I think that's really cool. I think that's really smart that you've still released so much music recently, even though the promise of a project,
Mm-hmm.
is not really your focus, but you're working on other things at the same time.
Yeah.
So how do you feel then being maybe an artist in this generation where, before like a rollout was like it had to be a single, then a project, and then music videos and stuff, but now you're able to do things right. Now you're able to do things in your own way and still experiment with different sounds, different artists, and then come back to the project when you're ready. Like, how do you feel about that?
I think it's a lot more. It gives the artist a lot more freedom to, make mistakes. Like I said, I'm still finding my footing even to this day. I don't feel like I took music as seriously until this year, until January. So I'm still finding my way or whatever like that. But definitely you have a lot more freedom to make mistakes. You get to experiment. You don't have a deadline. Let's talk about that. No deadline, no release date, nobody down your back. So that's why I keep pushing this EP back as long as I want to, because I'm like, I'll do it. Like I have a song that I want on the EP, and then I scrap it. I'm like, okay, now we back to square one. I have songs. Like I have a hella songs that was supposed to be on this EP. I'll just scrap and then make new songs, and then I'll scrap them. It's
a process.
Advice to new artists working with producers.
Oh, girl.
you have to find somebody you really have chemistry with, I would say.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like, it wasn't easy. It's not easy finding a producer at all, especially, like, because where I'm from, not a lot of people do music. So it's few and far between. Whereas, like, if you in Atlanta or New York, you can find them at the drop of a dime.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not as easy, but just keep trying. You're gonna find them. Dead ass. Like, you're gonna find who works with you. I personally tried to look for people that was LGBT friendly. Terribly hard finding producers. Yeah, it is hard. That's why I said you got to find somebody you could trust. Who's not a yes man. You don't want nobody to be a yes man.
Just telling you, yeah, whatever. Now, Donny, I want to, because the live's going to close, so I don't want it to cut you off. Okay. What can the people expect from you next? And we just got Push It. Like, we just got Push It. You've already hinted that there may be stuff coming soon after that, so that's already exciting. But what else can we kind of expect moving forward?
Well, like I said, I have a feature this month coming out, so I expect that. I don't know when this is gonna release. Keep asking the person when this release date. They don't. Child. And just new music, fresh music. I don't think anybody in the game raps like me. Take that how you will. So
no, you have to be about you. You got to be your biggest fan. If you're not supporting yourself,
the most, you got it. Because who gonna stand behind you but you? I'm top 5 in the game of this year. Period. No, I'm saying. But yeah, definitely new music. I'm not done this year. This is gonna be quaff. Oh Lord, Dwayne. So it's gonna be a good year. Good late half of the year. I feel like.
Mhm. Well, it's been a good year for releases for you so far.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I've been trying. I especially after last year, I just wanted to be more consistent. Who a quaff.
You know what I found too?
Yeah.
Just like I did find when you released a song for New Year's, I found like after that, I feel like you were just on like a different vibe. Like you just had this like game plan, target acquired, like I'm
Mm-hmm.
coming for everybody. Like that's how I felt like, and I feel like I noticed it then, and then as the subsequent releases came out, I was like, oh, okay, he's coming, I'm really proud of you. I'm happy to see the growth. I
Thank
think you're super ambitious. I think you work really, really hard, and I'm just excited to be on the ride. I'm excited to see everything you're working on.
Thank you so much. It's gonna be more. I'm not done. I forgot about. Oh yeah, I forgot about that song too, Zach. I can't believe you brought that up. I'm gonna have to go and delete that off of all
Oh my
streaming
god.
services. It gotta go.
No.
That song has to go. It was just that was a test song. I just wanted to see if I can do it like with the distributor. That was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And
Because
so
that's
yeah,
a whole process.
yeah, and that's the whole process. So I just wanted to see. So I just needed to write something real quick on a quick beat. That beat is I hated that beat, child. But I just want to see if I can get it up, and I got it up. So there we go. Pause. But yeah, some more music. Maybe a couple more collaborations. I do want to collab with more. I do want to go bar for bar with other male artists.
Mm-hmm.
That's not Jim. Love you, Jim, but shit, child.
Jem is such a sweetheart. I love Jem.
Yeah, and we got so much music together because just like 19, we think about doing collab projects and then we say, never mind. Then we'll do it again. Never mind. And so then whatever song we made from the collab project that we then said, never mind, Jim would just take it and he would release as a single. So like High, that was
Mm-hmm.
that. Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Yeah.
No, well,
So,
thank you so much, Donnie, for your time, for talking about
you.
your new music, everything you're working on. I feel like this was really incredible for me to learn about you as an artist. We've known each other for a bit of time, but there's so many
Yeah.
intricacies to where your head's at as an artist and what you do and why you do it. And so it's been really great for me to learn that as well. I think it's really important. So I'm very proud of you. And Dwayne said he's releasing a song with you soon. So, okay, we can look out for that. Is that true? Dwayne, are
I
you giving
don't.
the
Me and
girls fake
Dwayne do have
news?
quite a few songs. I don't know what he's gonna release because this is news to me, child.
Y'all are
But
too much.
yeah, Dwayne is my brother, so I love him. That's literally my brother.
I
He's my
love
brother.
y'all's friendship.
Thank you, thank you. What else?
But yeah,
We need
thank you
more
so.
music from you. I
Hopefully,
need.
more music from us. I know. I gotta
Oh,
like we gotta. I gotta figure it out, man. We're working on it over here. I
it's okay.
promise.
Quarantine. It came out of nowhere, and it destroyed a lot of plans.
Yeah.
So
And I
I'm
remember when
just
I talked to you about that, I was like, oh, a couple things here and there I may have to change. And now I'm just like, okay, like we got to figure it out because I got to get stuff done. And it's so hard now. And people, again, like I was saying
yeah.
before, people don't see all the things that kind of happen that kind of like, everyone's affected in a different way.
Yeah.
And, some artists, it is possible to do a bit more. And for some, it's not. So it's a challenge. It's a balancing act. I'm working on some great stuff, guys. You'll see it soon. But it's about you, Donnie. But thank you so much. All of y'all go and check out Push It. Check out Take One. Stay tuned for all Donnie's new music coming out. Go check out High by him and Jem because I just love that song.
I
Love
really
that
love
record.
that. I love that. I hated that verse on High that I did, and I'm starting to love it now.
No, I
My
really
sister
liked
loved that
it.
verse.
I feel like you talked about the subject and then you went deep into your own personal life. Like I loved it. I thought it was really, really good.
Thank you so much.
Well, y'all, thank you so much for your time. Thank you guys for coming in and talking, especially Dwayne with his commentary. I appreciate it.
Dwayne.
But anyway, Donnie, you have a great night. We will talk
Thank
soon.
you.
And y'all
You
make
too.
sure y'all go check out everything that he has out now.